All right, so today we're diving deep into something pretty intense.
Yeah, definitely intense.
Borderline personality disorder, BPD. We're really going to try to understand it.
Absolutely.
But, and here's the thing,
Okay.
we're dishing the textbooks,
Huh.
all the clinical jargon.
I like it.
We're going straight to the heart of it.
Yeah.
With a real story.
Okay.
Tabitha by Kathy Stringer.
I'm ready.
Kathy shares her experience with a young woman, Tabitha,
Okay.
during their time together as inpatients at a medical facility.
Wow. So this is firsthand. This is personal. For someone like you, interested in BPD,
Exactly.
hearing it through an experience like this.
It's eye-opening.
Yeah, it really is. It's way more powerful than just textbook definitions.
Yeah.
Because you see, BPD, it's often misunderstood.
Right.
But at its core, we're talking about really intense emotions, struggles with relationships, and this deep, deep fear of abandonment.
And you can feel that fear so strongly. When you hear about Tabitha, you know Kathy's first impression of her?
Okay.
It's striking.
What's she like?
She's 19, puts on this tough front, but underneath, you can see the pain.
The pain? Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Kathy even describes how Tabitha has these rosy cheeks, but not the cute kind, no. It's from constantly scratching at her skin.
Oh, wow.
Almost like a physical outlet for all this turmoil she can't express.
That's heavy. That image, the scratching, it's like it's symbolic, you know.
Yeah.
But keep going, the first impression.
So we've got this picture of Tabitha, abandoned by her family, no one visits. She's wearing clothes that don't fit right.
It's like all these external things reflecting her internal state.
And she hides behind humor. It just screams those feelings of like being unloved and unworthy.
Which are often right there at the surface with BPD.
And you can tell, you can just feel it.
Yeah.
That Kathy connects with Tabitha instantly.
Like she sees herself in this young woman.
Yes. Like she recognizes a part of herself. It makes you think about...
And that recognition, that shared understanding, it's huge. It's everything.
Because Kathy, she instinctively wants to help, to give Tabitha what she's missing.
The nurturing, the support.
But here's the thing. Kathy realizes something else. That Tabitha struggles to just come out and say it.
To say what?
How she feels, like directly.
It makes you realize how important it is. Just being able to say, like, hey, I'm hurting.
And having someone there to hear you?
Exactly. Without judgment. It's like, Kathy gets it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best thing you can do is be present. Listen.
And that brings us to this pivotal moment.
Okay.
The phone call. Tabitha asks Kathy to listen in. It's a conversation with her mother.
Oh, this is going to be heavy.
It's like a masterclass in invalidation.
Invalidation. People throw that word around a lot, especially with BPD.
Right. But what does it actually mean?
So invalidation, it's like denying someone's feelings.
Like what they're feeling isn't real.
Yeah. Or that their experiences don't matter. Like you're constantly being told your feelings are wrong. Your experience is not important. Your inner world, not valid.
Imagine hearing that all the time.
Especially as a child.
Trying to figure out who you are.
Exactly. And you're being told your feelings are wrong. Your experiences don't matter.
It's like being told you're not allowed to feel what you feel.
Yeah, it sends such a damaging message. Don't trust your emotions. What you've gone through, it's not important.
And that does something to you.
It can really mess with your sense of self, your ability to connect with people in a healthy way. And unfortunately, that's exactly what we see happening with Tabitha in this phone call.
It's like you're right there with them.
You feel it.
Oh, totally. The tension. As Tabitha's mom, she basically blames Tabitha for being there.
For being hospitalized.
Yeah. Like it's her fault. And she just dismisses Tabitha's pain. Like it's nothing.
There it is. That denial, that minimizing. Invalidation in action.
And as if that's not bad enough, this is where we learn something else about Tabitha's past. It just adds another layer to her story. Tabitha. She was sexually abused by members of her extended family.
Wow. That just changes everything. Knowing that. The trauma she's carried.
It's heartbreaking. And it makes you realize
what she's been through.
The depth of her pain.
Exactly. We're not just talking about everyday emotional struggles here.
No. This is serious trauma. And for Kathy, it's like a light bulb moment.
She's putting the pieces together.
She sees the scratching, the inability to express those emotions.
And the trauma.
All connected.
Yeah. It really highlights how deeply trauma can impact someone.
Yeah.
Especially when it's never been dealt with.
Yeah.
When you haven't had the support, the validation.
To process it.
To heal.
And it makes you think, don't you think, about how important it is to have those people, the ones who get you, who validate what you're feeling, help you make sense of things.
Basically the tough stuff.
And Tabitha, she didn't have that. And you see the consequences, and they're rough.
It really makes you appreciate what Kathy does next.
What's that?
Her empathy. She sees how much Tabitha is hurting, and she decides to do something.
What's that?
Something incredible. It seems so simple, but given everything Tabitha has been through, it speaks volumes.
Okay, so what'd she do?
Cabby basically goes on this mission to just shower Tabitha with kindness. And I'm not talking about like a card or balloons. We're talking mountains of treats, magazines. She gets her friends in on it. It's amazing.
Like a Kathy-led kindness brigade.
Exactly. It's like she just intuitively knows. For someone like Tabitha, someone who's been starved for love, for validation.
Those treats, those magazines, they mean more.
So much more. They're not just gifts. They're tangible expressions of care. It's like surrounding her with warmth, attention, someone who's used to feeling invisible.
Right. But then, because it couldn't be that easy, right? Tabitha's reaction, it's not what you'd expect.
So?
She's not happy. This outpouring of generosity, it's like it overwhelms her.
She doesn't know what to do with it.
She doesn't. She pulls back.
From the gifts.
Yeah. It's like, this is all so unfamiliar to her.
The kindness.
Hit about it. You go through life feeling unloved, unworthy, and then suddenly,
bam, avalanche of affection.
It throws her entire world off. Yeah, and scary.
Of course.
It makes you think about, what those years, all that neglect, all that invalidation.
It does something to a person.
It really does.
And this is where it's so important to remember, right?
Okay.
BPD. It's often a way of coping with all those big feelings.
Makes sense.
Especially that fear of abandonment.
That makes sense, though, given Tabitha's history, I mean.
Exactly. For someone like her, who has actually experienced that abandonment,
over.
Those fears, they're not coming from nowhere.
No.
They're rooted in reality.
And that, I think, makes what Kathy does even more.
Amazing.
Amazing. She doesn't push.
No.
Doesn't try to force Tabitha to just...
get over it.
Yeah. Or even to just explain. She just makes space.
For Tabitha
to deal with it in her own time.
What happens?
And eventually, Tabitha takes the gifts.
She does. Wow. That's huge.
She does. And it's like, you can practically feel it.
Feel what?
The validation washing over her, those gifts, the kindness. It's like a lifeline.
A sign that maybe.
Yeah.
She is worthy of love, of belonging.
Yes, exactly. And, that's something we can all learn from.
We can. Even
if we don't know anything about BPD. Just being a good friend, a good partner.
A good human.
It's not about having all the answers, trying to fix someone. It's about seeing them.
Recognizing their humanity.
Offering compassion and understanding that sometimes the most powerful thing is just showing up, being there, listening without judgment.
It's like that saying about being kind, because everyone is fighting a hard battle.
Well, you never really know what someone else is going through.
Exactly. And a little kindness.
It can go a long way. And I think, for me, that's the takeaway from Tabitha's story. Kathy, her kindness, her empathy.
It gave Tabitha hope.
When she desperately needed it. It's a good reminder, even in those dark times. Facing pain, trauma.
Validation matters.
Even the smallest acts.
They can change everything.
Makes you wonder, what if everyone struggling like that had a Kathy in their corner?
Think about it.
As you learn more about BPD, keep Tabitha in mind. And that power, that validation, you might change a life, maybe even your own.